Hey guys, well, this midweek episode um, is going to be about with this COVID 19 and people throwing themselves on buying boats. Uh, we're I'm going to be talking about the hidden cost of purchasing a boat. Now, when you buy a boat and you want to go live aboard, or at least live aboard during the nice summer months, um, or live aboard year round. In Canada, it's going to be a little different than if you're going down to the Caribbeans, you know, or just somewhere in a bay along the U.S. coastal waters or Mississippi and so on. Um, so these hidden costs are what are not one, what are not included in the boat. Two, uh, what the minimum cost of maintaining a boat and having a boat is, and lastly, the upgrades that you want for your creature comfort. So let's get right into this and let's go for purchasing a boat. Well, if you look at this boat, it's a 42-foot Moody. Nothing special about it. It's about, well, it's they're advertising $45,000 US. You know, you could probably get it somewhere around 40,000. And if you take away the if you do the exchange with the Canadian dollar, it's probably somewhere around $55,000 right now, or maybe 60 with all the exchange and bringing in and stuff. So very capable blue water boat. Everything's there. All the basics are there, and there's already a couple or a few amenities that are installed on this boat. Again, very good buy, but then let's talk about the reality of it right now. Looking at what the boat has, and we realized pretty quick that the electronics on this boat are very outdated. Raymarine ST60 Plus is at least 20 years old, and by the rest of these instruments, I'm going to say the last time this boat was updated was probably in the late 90s. Now, you're looking at a autopilot Raymarine ST 2000 6002, which is a RAM, but it's also again 20 years old. And this is, if you look on top, we see 8600 engine hours. So obviously this boat's been around. Now we never said this boat was brand new. It's a 19 around 1980s, 1975, 1980 boat. So of course it's been a few places, but you know, keep it in mind there is stuff that you need to look at and you need to upgrade, such as, and we see it right here, where there's two 140 watt panel. Now, 140 watt panel, we'll get into this a little later, but that's 280 watts total, and probably going to bring you around maximum um, 15 amps of solar, which is not a lot if you're staying north of north of the 40, or anywhere in Canada or the upper United States. Now, if you stay in the Bahamas or the Caribbeans, or nice places like that, you might have enough, stretching it and not having too much electronics on board. But your batteries are going to get shaken, and at the same time, you might have to use a generator, and that's probably why they're including their Honda 2000i portable. So again, this is a very well built boat. It is kind of live aboard ready. But now let's talk about the real expenses that you're going to incur if you did buy this boat. Now that we have a nice, you know, decent length boat that we could easily live aboard, it's nice and comfy. Uh, you know, it has everything we need: head, kitchen, or galley. Um, nice sleeping quarters. Let's talk about the other costs. Now, just to keep a boat afloat, usually if you're anywhere where there's ice that forms, you're going to need to find yourself a marina that will accept you to winter in it. Now, these are not dime a dozen. They're really, really rare and scattered. So make sure that you have one that, if you're still working, close to work, or the I'm going to say it, but yeah. So the commuting from work to the boat is something that's feasible. Uh, and depending on where you are, you could pay anywhere from $1,000 a month to even more than that. Now, most of the time, this includes your electricity, Wi-Fi, possibly showers and bathrooms on land, and so on. And even sometimes they include the agitators or bubblers or so on. And again, that's all fine and dandy, but it is, for at least for the winter months in Canada, somewhere around $3,000 to $8,000 for those 6 months. Now, for people that work 5 days a week, you still need a summer marina. Now, how much this is it goes anywhere from $64 a foot, or actually I know some that's $45 a foot, all the way to $125 a foot. And if you buy it, just like in this story, a 42-foot boat, so you're looking at another $4,200 to $5,000 for the summer. That would be on the high side, but all in all, for your year, that's $12,000. If you live in the Caribbeans, you're at anchor, and your boat has all the amenities that you need to live on the hook, then in which case that amount drops significantly, because you could live on the hook 12 months out of the year. You will spend a little bit more on gas and so on for your dinghy, the wear and tear on your dinghy, but the boat and the hook pretty much stays put. Now, the other things, when you purchase a boat, and you could buy a boat, a 42-foot, or just like in our case, Capella C is for sale for $75,000. Now, people look at me and says, oh, that's twice the price of some, and $10,000 to $15,000 more than the others. I agree. Now, Capella has a full enclosure, again, all for creature comfort, but full enclosure, dinghy davits that do allow you to sail at 25, 30 degrees, with the dinghy still well over the water. It has a heater on board, which keeps the boat at 25 degrees no matter what the temperature is outside, including minus 30 degrees Fahrenheit. It also has a water maker, a freshwater filtration system, and a desalinizer for when we go to the ocean. Along with this, it also has a freezer on board, on a 2 cubic foot freezer on top of the freezer that came with. That's about 7 cubic foot, give or take, and the freezer is about not even a foot, but at least we could keep a lot more meat and stuff that goes in the freezer than most. Now, again, these are all little things. Also, like the instant propane hot water heater. These are all for creature comfort. You're going to need, you don't need, you're going to want possibly a TV. Now, your TV, depending which one you buy, you might need an inverter to run it. Now, do you want an inverter to run the TV and the additional freezer? Do you want an additional freezer? These are all things that you need to consider. Now, if you don't want to lose any of your creature comfort, such as TV hot water on demand. When you turn on a tap, you get hot water. You want as much water as you want, whenever you want, just like if you lived in an apartment in a city somewhere, or even on a well in the country, where you open a tap, boom, there's a pump that kicks on and you get water. All of these things cost money. So if you buy a $40,000 40-foot boat, you're not going to get all these things. And if you buy $100,000 boat, 40-foot, Moody, just like this one, for $100,000, it's most likely going to have it all. Now, to install all these systems, some might argue, well, it's not going to cost you $60,000. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. What I do know is to go from 280 watt of solar to somewhere around 1,000 watts or 900 to 1,200 watts, which is more what you're looking for as a living room, you're going to be spending around $1,500, and that's no install. That's just parts. And then the batteries. You can go anywhere from a Group 31 for about $120 to $150 for 105 amps, to a lithium ion phosphate battery that's going to cost you about $1,200 for the exact same amount of amperage. Difference is, one's good for about 200 cycles, the other one's good for about 20,000 cycles. I'm exaggerating on the 20,000, it's more around 8, but still, we're talking about 10 to 15 years of usable power. On the other end, you're going to have to change them every year. And there's also little insides on there. If you buy them somewhere else, it's come out a lot cheaper. But what really burns us is people that buy $40,000 boats and then they climb on Capella C and say, well, where's my this and where's my that? Why can't I take a hot shower after being at anchor for 3 days? And so on. And then you start to make them understand that they need to invest another $5,000 to $20,000, $25,000 to even remotely come close. And if you want that water maker, we're talking about $30,000 to $35,000 to even come close to the amenities that we have on Capella C. And this is where people don't understand. Yes, living on a boat is cheap, but no, there's nothing on a boat that is cheap. You can buy the cheap stuff, and you will live with cheap stuff, possibly break down a lot quicker, a lot faster, or you could buy the good stuff, which it does hurt at the purchase time, but will last you for years and years. So, all this said, I have to point out that if you're going to buy a boat, make sure that, one, you see and know the difference between a boat that's ready to go across an ocean and a boat that's ready to go to a dock and is going to need to stay there at least 5 days out of the week to be able to suffice itself and keep its occupants happy. So thanks, guys, and hopefully you get the drift. If you guys want to help us without doing much at all, please click like and subscribe, and possibly that little bell to get notifications next time we put out a video. Thanks, guys.